This episode is sponsored by ThruNite. Ah, a cozy log cabin, tucked away in the Canadian wilderness. All it needs now is a porch. So let's build one. After using my diamond blade to cut into the stone and my cold chisel to knock the pieces out, I switched to my diamond cup grinder to smooth everything flat. Now that the tops of the boulders were flat and level, I cut some score lines into them. This is to prevent moisture from getting trapped underneath the beam by channeling water down the boulder. It was time to install the ledger board. In this case, I'll be using a pressure-treated 2x12, which I picked up from the lumberyard. If I had a cedar big enough to make the ledger, I would have milled it myself, as cedar is naturally resistant to rot. However, this treated 2x12 will do just fine. Next came the 2x10 joists, which were also pressure treated. I spaced them 16 inches apart. The 2x6 cedar decking came next. I used my carpenter's pencil, which is a 1/4 inch thick, to space the boards apart. The 1/4 inch spacing will allow water to drain between the boards. To protect the deck, I mixed up a natural wood treatment, which uses 1 liter of boiled linseed oil, 2 liters of mineral spirits, and 2 bars of canning wax. After mixing the linseed oil and mineral spirits together, I melted the canning wax down by double boiling it. I first heard of this recipe from Noah Bradley, so I made sure to link his channel in the description below. Once it completely turned to liquid, I slowly poured the wax into the mixture. I had to learn the hard way that the wax won't properly mix if the treatment is colder than room temperature. On my first attempt, I added the wax when the treatment was at 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius, and this was the unfortunate result. The wax clumped together and refused to mix. Anyway, on my second try, I made sure to warm up the treatment in the sun first, and the wax mixed in beautifully. The linseed oil protects the wood, while the mineral spirits help the oil to penetrate deeper into the grain. Finally, the wax forms a protective barrier, which prevents water from absorbing into the wood. Notice how the water beads up instead of soaking into the deck. Well, there it is. The base is complete. It may look a little plain at the moment, but the best is yet to come. The plan, after filling these footings with fieldstone, is to find a couple boulders as big as the tractor can handle, haul them to the cabin, and cut steps into them. With the final boulder in place and the final step cut, it was time to prepare the timbers that would rest upon them. My main challenge in placing the timbers was not to cover up the beautiful grain within the boulders. However, I had a plan. Now all I had to do was fasten the timbers down. I used the same homemade treatment on the timbers that I used for the deck. 2 parts mineral spirits, 1 part boiled linseed oil, and some canning wax, melted and mixed together. Well, it's already been a year since I built the front porch, and it is something that I'm so glad that I did. It's like having an extra room built onto the cabin. My family and I have taken full advantage of that front porch. We've already spent so much time out there. My favorite is to sit out there in the rain because you're outside, but you're under the protection of the roof overhang. You're up off the ground where it's nice and dry. So it's so much fun just to be out there and just enjoy nature. Now, as far as the design is concerned, I wanted it to be something that is simple yet sturdy. And I'm sure some of you that are watching this are thinking, what about this porch is simple? It's quite intricate, isn't it? You've got these stone steps and the stone inlays on the posts and the twig spindles. What about this design is simple? And I do agree that I added a lot of embellishments to the porch, but I'm talking about the base. You've got your footings. Every good porch needs a good set of footings. So I've got 3 out there. I dug about 1.5 to 2 feet down. In this area, we've got a solid limestone layer about 2 feet down. So I dug down to that. I filled those holes back up again with fieldstone, and then I put boulders on top of that. Just because those are the materials that I have available here in this off-grid context. After that, you've got your beam, you've got your ledger board, your joists, and your decking. And then that's your base. Once you have your base and it's nice and solid, you can build up from there and design it however you like. Now, as far as the lumber is concerned, most of it I milled on my own from trees that I'd felled on my own in this area. But the dimensions aren't anything that you couldn't get from a local hardware store or from a lumber yard. Anyway, I wanted to show you one more thing before I ended this episode. If you haven't picked up an outsider flashlight, I suggest you do so. You can head over to Amazon and type in outsider TT20 flashlight, and this should come up. So this is a high-end, high-powered flashlight. At its brightest, it shines at over 2,000 lumens, which is much brighter than a high beam headlight on a car. Not as pretty as my Cabela's lamp, but I think it looks really nice. It's got a coyote tan color to it. It looks really sharp. It's got aircraft grade aluminum, so it's really durable. It's rechargeable with a lithium battery, and it uses a USB-C port, which I really love. So if you've got a cell phone charger, you can plug it right into the flashlight and charge it up again. The thing about having a good flashlight is you don't need it until you need it, and then you really need it. Like, I've had friends over the years that they were either hunting or they were out in the bush and they were caught out in the dark. And the only flashlight they had on them was a cell phone. And that works okay. You can see maybe a little bit in front of you, but when you're in the dense bush, it does make it difficult. And then obviously the battery runs out very quick on cell phones. So not only have my friends lost their cell phone flashlight in the dark, they've also lost the ability to call for help with their phone because the battery's dead. So if you are into the outdoors or someone you love is into the outdoors, this is a great gift for yourself or for them. It could be a lifesaver. So anyway, you can head over to Amazon. Again, type in Outsider TT20 flashlight, and this is made by ThruNite. Anyway, that's enough for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, be well, and God bless.